and welcome to the fourth episode of North Lanarkshire Live. Nearly forgot what the name of the show was here. Been joined by Cllr David Baird. Hello, David.
Hello there, Martin.
So you've been a councillor for how long?
This is me now in my 6th year.
6 years. So how many elections in?
Year. This is the second one in May was my second victory.
So did you win on a by-election then?
No, I originally won in 2012, the election in 2012, and then I stood again 2017.
Right.
Won again, so this has been going into my 6th year as a councillor.
And what ward?
Ward 16, Moss End in Hollytown.
Right. Is that the same ward that's always been, or is it?
Just the ward numbers changed. This year there was an additional ward put in place, so they all moved along.
And who's in your ward with you?
The ward area, my two other councillors are Councillor McNally and Councillor Redding, both Labour Party councillors. So
one of the things I was going to, I'll let you know, I was going to ask you about this beforehand, was that I went to the big council meeting a couple of weeks ago, and I spoke to Hugh Gaffney about it when he was on. There was this thing where you had the big council meeting, and one of the motions was to get rid of Jim Logue for the duration of some investigation. And then there was the one about the freedom of information on a report, which I thought was the main thing for me. I was like, that was the one I was really, really intrigued by. But one of the things that came up during that meeting was that you spoke at one point about the number of pages in reports. Did you want to just clarify that?
There was a slight mistake. I mean, what was getting at was during the summer recess, a report was put out about the failure within the procurement, which had caused an internal audit to be done of the procurement service, and also a criminal investigation, which to date is still ongoing, I believe. And we had been calling from this time last year for that report to be made available to elected members. At the time, the council was still going through disciplinary procedures with some of the council officers who were involved, and they said until those issues were resolved, they weren't in the position to make that report available. And it was then made available during the summer recess when most councillors were away on holiday. When they made that available, that came with a letter about 3-4 pages long, which I felt was more of a gagging order rather than what the chief executive of the council said. It was a sort of guidance for councillors not to reveal the contents of the report to the public or the media, and it was basically threatening action against anybody who took the decision to actually make it available to any public source or media. So I took issue about that.
Because it was kind of in the Herald as well, though, wasn't it?
The initial complaint was leaked to the Herald.
So the gagging order really worked well then?
So, there was no gagging order at the start when it was released to Mr. Least, the reporter.
But did you get the same report as the Labour Party and the Tory Party got?
I think we all got the same report. Part of the problem is, although the report was something like 16 pages long, there was a lot more information gathered in the process. They didn't release the initial letter, the sort of whistleblowing letter in which the allegations were made. So you've got a report in front of you, but you don't have the initial letter in which the allegations are made. So how are you supposed to judge the report and the findings within the report without actually knowing what the specifics of the allegations were? So that letter wasn't made available to the members.
Right, so you got the full report, but you didn't get what the report was about?
We just knew that there was allegations concerning the behaviour of certain officers with regards to procurement issues.
Right, because it was confusing for me, because obviously when Paul Dukes was saying you've all got the same report, then obviously he wasn't lying. You all did get the same report, but you're saying you didn't get the evidence beforehand.
There was 2 reports being discussed at that meeting, and that may have caused a bit of conflation. There was also an internal report that was done into the 2 arm's length organisation, North Lanarkshire Leisure, and the 2 companies that were set up, and I think that report as well was being asked. We were asking for that to be disclosed to the public so that we could all see it. The only people who have got to see that report are those who were on the committee that then reviewed that. So I haven't seen that, and a lot of about 60 odd other councillors haven't seen that report either.
Good. Right. So kind of clears it up. It's again, it's a complicated matter. It's everything to do with politics. It's
never as simple as it might first appear.
Right. So, do you work on any committees?
I am now in 5. Previously, I was on about 15 committees.
Because there was this thing that I've spoken to other councillors about it and other people about it, and it's like if you work on a committee, you can't comment on stuff that the committee's doing. It sort of restricts what you can comment on.
There may be issues that come up within a committee in which it's restricted to the public, so you can't do it, or if it's a quasi-judicial committee, then you can't comment on it because you may then show prejudice, one way or the other, which then would disbar you from taking part within that committee. So for planning as a quasi-judicial and regulatory committee, which now oversees licensing. So if there's an issue that comes up within planning, either at the subcommittee or for the full hearing, which is all councillors are involved at that level, if you then had to say yea or nay, you're for it or against it, then it would preclude you when it came to the meeting of the council or the subcommittee from actually taking part and voting.
Right.
So
yeah, it's just a lot of people don't
know
about that, because
it
seems like if there's an issue going on and then there's a councillor not talking about it, your immediate assumption is that councillor's not doing their job, that councillor's not doing their job. But then
again, when you get constituents coming along on these issues, you have to steer that course. You listen to their concerns, you take the concerns on. It doesn't stop you if you've got concerns on that, asking for the information. But on the day, you've got to base that judgment on the information that's provided. So you'll look at a development. If it's a planning issue, you'll look at the development, where that fits in within the local plan.
Because you've got a development in Holytown at the moment?
Yes, there's a proposal for a roundabout off of the main road within Holytown going into the Eurocentral at the moment. So it hasn't come back to the council at the moment, but we know it's been passed by the city deal. So
which
is? It's part of the city, the Glasgow city region. The deal that Glasgow got. Scottish Government and the Westminster Government are putting something like £500 million in for development. So the local authorities around Glasgow are all bidding for this money, to get a chunk of this money to help develop projects which will attract investment, create jobs or retain jobs within the area. So this proposal.
How's that going down with the locals?
Well, there's a quite active local campaign group, Holytown Says No, who have went out and collated over 1,500 letters of objection. They have went round and spoken to the new councillors who are on the planning subcommittee, basically making them aware of how the residents in the area feel. They're not there to get a yea or an nay from the councillor. They're just making them aware of what's been happening. They've recently had a site visit with Councillor Graham, who's come out, who's in charge of infrastructure, and just explain them, because there was a planning application in as well for a block of flats in the area where this roundabout was originally proposed, and it's about 100 yards, 150 yards away from where the new roundabout is proposed, so that would have had a further impact on it.
So where does responsibility lie at the end of the day for this? Is it council, Scottish Government?
At the end of the day, it's got to be the council that decide upon this, and it's a council department who will be putting forward at the planning department.
The reason I'm asking that is so if I live in that area and I think I don't like this, or even if I do like this, I contact my councillor.
Contact your councillor.
We'll contact you.
Contact myself, Jim Redding, Frank McAnally, and we'll take on board your concerns. There are people who have been in contact with myself who are in favour of it because it'll shave a minute off their journey time, so they get directly into the Eurocentral Park to where they work. It's closer at that.
So does Eurocentral fall into your ward?
Yes, the whole of Eurocentral falls in Moss End and Hollytown.
And how easy is it to get to Eurocentral?
Pretty easy.
Without a car, though?
Without a car, very easy. There's actually a path runs down through the bund into it. It could be better, the access could be better, there's no doubt about that. There's also access in from behind the Cllr Sports. There's a pavement goes all along the bigger road area and then down McNeil Drive into.
Okay. So is there any issues in the area you want to raise that people have come to you that you're campaigning for? Or?
There is a few other issues, roads at the moment, and we're waiting on the roads because of the procurement issues that were highlighted in the report. A lot of roadworks, etc. A lot of contracts hadn't been put out to tender until this report was dealt with. So we've got a few constituents at the bottom end of Hollytown have been complaining about the state of the roads. There's a lot of HGVs who are using this road to access the Moss End railhead, and they're coming down through Hollytown because they're based at the top end of Newhouse, and when they're hitting these potholes and whatever, it's causing the houses to shake. And you can imagine at 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, you've got 40-ton HGVs hitting these holes.
So will this road maybe then help that?
No, it won't help it at all. It would probably make the problems much worse in that stretch of road.
So what's the solution?
The solution, we'll just have to bide our time and see what comes out of the proposals. One of the things that was mentioned with the Moss End railhead, and when the 8 and the M8 improvements were put in, it would allow better access into the Eurocentral Park, because you've now got a new lane of the A which comes directly in to the Dakota, so you can get there from Chapel Hall directly rather than having to go into Hollytown to come back out. So I think it's one of these things is getting drivers to use common sense instead of sat navs when they're coming up the A725, and just carry on along the M8 and come off at the Eurocentral junction rather than saving a minute, be driving up, coming off at the Bells Hill roundabout through Bells Hill, Moss End into Hollytown.
So just to finish us off, right? Hugh Gaffney was on the first episode. Now he's a fellow councillor, as well as being an MP. So just to give an idea, how much time do you actually spend up at the Civic Centre a week, and how much time do you spend actually voting on stuff, dealing with committees, doing surgeries?
Everybody's different. I mean, because the SNP group is now expanded, if you go back into my first term, I was doing about 20 surgeries a week because I then took over for Duncan McShannon, who went off ill. I thought it was going to be a short term. It lasted for about three and a half years. So I was covering both Moss End and Hollytown and Thornawood, which Councillor Bonner won in the by-election. So at that point, Duncan had been doing 1 surgery a month. I took it up to like 5 surgeries a month in that area, 5 or 6, on top of the 12 that I do in my own area. So it was more than full time, although we're paid on the basis of 28 hours. I was doing a lot more than 28 hours, especially being on like 15 committees. So it's there's a lot of work involved in doing it. There was a lot of travelling involved. Some councillors got a lot more travelling if they're coming from Cumbernauld and that.
Yeah.
But I'm in most weeks, at least 3 days a week. And I do surgeries every second week. I do 3 on a Monday, 4 on a Monday, and 2 on a Wednesday.
So it is a full-time job basically.
I'm doing it as a full-time job, always have, and I think really to be the best that you can for your area, it requires that kind of commitment.
I mean, my argument would be that because sometimes I've heard some politicians say that councillors get paid a pittance, but to be fair though, the average salary in North Lanarkshire for a full-time job is £16,500. So actually, councillors get paid above the average anyway.
No,
but that's what I'm saying. In terms of it's not a great salary, but it's still above the average. It's not poverty stricken.
The average in North Lanarkshire is actually 23,000.
It's went up from the last time I checked. This stats last week.
Right. Well, it's 23,000. You may be looking at a certain sector or whatever, but I think the average, or the Scottish average, is about 23,500.
The Scottish, it's North Lanarkshire drops down quite a bit.
North Lanarkshire was the last time we got the figures, the whole thing when I was researching it was about £2,300 less than the Scottish average was North Lanarkshire. So it's still over £21,000. Again, you can claim expenses, but I've never ever done that. You know, that's the way I see it as a.
But what I mean is in terms of the people that are doing it part time.
Do you know
what I mean? Some people are doing it.
Yes, some people.
If you're doing a full time job and you're working 5 days a week doing it, then yes, it's not a great wage. But for some people that are maybe doing it 2 days a week, that's kind of a fantastic wage to top up the rest of your salary.
Well, it maybe is, you know, but you know, that's for their conscience. I know my conscience is clear on that point.
And how much power do you have as a councillor? How powerful is a councillor in your mind?
We're not powerful at all. We don't have any power. There may be certain people because they are. But to be fair,
the decisions you make as a councillor, every time you make a decision as a councillor, it directly affects someone's life. When someone does a decision as an MP, it's a broad stroke, whereas decisions made at council level are right at the constituent facing things.
Well, you just have to look at some of the decisions that have been made and then changed a year down the line or whatever. We've got a situation at the moment with the bins, Bingate, whatever you want to call it. Prior to the election, we were supposed to be going to be putting out to consultation. The SNP pushed for it to go out to consultation because it was coming in, and we've been through the process before where we've made changes to the collection times and the method in order to increase recycling. Now, I'm all in favour of recycling it, and the way that we should be doing it is, we're maybe lagging some other areas, but a one-size-fits-all approach doesn't work. You have to do it with the people, you have to educate the people, and I'm finding it out now. A lot of people are saying we didn't get the letter, we don't know, but a lot of people aren't reading the letter. So there's an education process there as well, and I think it's just been a farce. 3 days in, the company who was to deliver the new biodegradable bags for food waste packed up, decided we're not going to complete it. So this is now put in areas where, I've just left today, my parents up in Hart Hill, they still haven't got them, even though we had the assurances that they would have those bags by this week. So you've got people who are confused about what goes in what bin. Do I put the tatty peelings, do they still go in the garden bin? Do I have to put them in the old plastic bag, or what do they go in? So
it's a bit. I mean, it's a transitional problem at the moment that could have been handled a lot better. But yeah, well, hopefully they'll get through it. But
the same could be said in the collection methods. In the last day, all bins go out. So basically, it didn't matter about the recycling that people did that week. The council came along, the bin lorry came along, so the glass you had separated, the paper, the card, the metals that you had separated were then all put into the same bin as your garden waste and the other waste. And
that's
this
what
was all commingled straight to landfill.
Yeah,
so,
I think a lot of people have been complaining about the way it's been even people that were behind the idea of the collections. It's the implementation has been a bit of a problem, and it was always going to be tricky. But I think it's been not the best handled. But thanks for coming in. It's been great to have you on. We're going to get another guest on in a minute, but before we do that, I'm going to try and solve this Rubik's Cube in the next minute. So I'm just going to try and solve this tonight.
Thank you.
So. Right, I'm never going to solve that. Right, anyway, we've got someone else in today as well, and it's Frankie Findlay. How you doing, Frankie?
Good, thanks for having me.
You're going somewhere?
Cambodia.
Okay, right, so why are you going to Cambodia?
I'm going to volunteer as a nurse.
Alright, so right, you're gonna have to work with me here. Come on.
A bit. Well, a couple of me and a couple of people from my university, we're going as a team. We're going to set up clinics, health clinics, and get staff work with the local community to bring them in to work in these clinics. So by the time we leave, we'll have set up clinics, and they'll be in working order for by the time we've left. And we're also going to be going in local schools and educating on basic health needs.
Okay, so why Cambodia?
Well, because the area we're going, we're going to a community called Battambang in Cambodia, and the community we're going to is very run down. It's quite poverty stricken, and the current things in place for health are really poor. There's not any staff. There's a big massive patient outcry for help, but there's not enough staff to cover. So we are going out as a challenge to sort of promote more
health
facilities for the local community.
So how did you get involved?
Well, the idea was, it was basically published to us, and it was a sort of sign up and apply for a space, and I applied for it because I thought as a student nurse it'd be a really good experience to.
So how far are you through your studies?
I have to start second year.
Start second year.
A few years to go.
So what do you know?
Well, I know a bit about basic health,
right,
which the people over there don't. So that's a skill.
So what's the main things that you're going to teach them? Come on.
Well, we're going to look at sexual contraception. That's a massive problem. We're going to look so stuff like that. We're going to look at basic hand sanitation, infectious diseases.
Right. So and then you're going to build these health centres as well. Cool.
And work in the pre-existing ones.
Right.
Set up new ones and work with the ones that are.
So how long are you going for?
It's only 3 weeks we're going for.
Only 3 weeks?
Yeah, we plan on doing a lot during the 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's going to be quite intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when is it you plan to go?
It's July next year.
Right. And you're trying to raise money at the moment?
Yep.
Right. So how are you doing that?
Well, I've got a few things planned. I've got, in 2 weeks' time, the 20th of October, I've got an event in the Auckland Miners Club in Moodiesburn, which is a social event for my friends, family, the local community, anyone who wants to come. £5 a ticket, with a DJ, raffle, buffet and stuff. And it's just going to be a wee couple hours in there for people to come along and support me. And I've done a couple of car boot sales, and we've also got some events planned in the local community. We're looking at a cinema and comedy night, and a jumbo sale or craft sale.
Okay, so what's your target?
£2,250.
Where are you at now?
£500.
Right, come on, right, you've got to get your skates on.
Yep.
When are you going?
Next year.
Next year, what?
July.
July next year, so how many months away is that?
Well, the target's to be met by May of 2018.
Get your skates
I
on there,
know.
Frankie.
So it's a lot of money to raise in quite a short amount of time.
Right, so I'm sitting here, I'm watching this and I'm going, right, well that seems like a fair enough place. Let's send Frankie to Cambodia for 3 weeks to help people out there live longer. How do I give you the money? How do I get the money to you?
Oh well, I've set up a Virgin Money Just Giving page.
Right, so how would I Google that?
It's on, I've got a Facebook page set up which is, it's called Frankie Goes to Cambodia, it's quite funny. And I've got that set up and that's basically going to follow all my fundraising events. I'm going to post everything to do with my experience in fundraising, and then when I'm over there, so it will basically summarise all my fundraising, each day I'm over there, and then I'll do like a reflection on it when I'm finished, so what I've learned and what I've brought back with me.
Cool. Is there anything you want to say to people that give me your
I
money?
think I'd really appreciate if you took the time to look at my page. It's obviously just in the beginning, there's not a lot on it just yet, but that's obviously going to change. I've got a lot of things planned. I'm really working hard to get over there to make a difference to people's lives.
So how many people are going with you?
I think there's roughly about 16 of us, and it's mostly people from nursing, but it's also people doing courses like business and stuff. So it's not, even though it's a nursing related trip, it's not just for people doing nursing.
Okay, well thanks for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me.
So we'll have the details of Frankie's fundraiser up with the video, so you can go to that link and give him lots and lots of cash so that he can go first class to Cambodia. Next week we've got Tommy Sheridan coming onto the show, and we've also got John Wasson, who couldn't make it today, unfortunately, but he's promised he'll turn up next week and chat to us about some more stuff. So thanks for tuning in, and now let's just pretend like we're talking, because you know, as they